Ah, hello, lovers. Today, this is Melissa Louise coming in with Jade Mason on Fat Chats in the Pleasure Studio. As you can see, we are talking all about your no, having your no on board. And this comes from a post that I did last Thursday or Friday, speaking about do you have your no on board? And a few people responded on the post, but I got many private messages, which I understand. Some people don't want to be putting publicly their concerns. But what came back, both men and women, it's not just about women, is having a no could annoy, hurt, put down someone else. So this is about where we keep placing the assumptions that we give towards other people in front of ourselves. So hello everyone that's coming in. Hey Chef Gula, Fiona, Mac, Tara, Radiate Sunshine. Tongue twister, let me invite JD in. Hey Christian, Gigi fits me. Awesome name. Is that because the other person is called Gigi?
Tatsquilla, hello. JD, hello. How are you, honey?
Hello, babe. Can you hear me?
Okay, so we're going to rinse and repeat because I can't hear JD, but I know one can hear her. So what did I do last time? There's two ways. Repeat. Can you still hear me?
Can. It's a bit fuzzy.
Yeah, I can't hear you. So I'm going to do the second part that I did.
Hello.
Can I hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, darling. We are sailing on the love boat. We are sailing. Oh, hello, beautiful. Bella's come out of her cave. Breath, Clifton, Breath, Clifton. I love reading out everyone's names when I can see them. How are you, honey?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm so good. I've been writing workshops all afternoon, so I feel really alive and finding models and all of. I've just been doing so much fun stuff.
How exciting. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Hi,
Oh, hello, Lynn. Oh, this is wonderful. I was hoping Nancy would be able to come on. I sent her a message. Oh, I'm so excited about today's topic.
Me too. My goodness.
It's so alive for
Hey,
both of us, huh? Yeah.
can I just be a sound perfectionist? Can you take your headphones out for a sec? I just want to hear something. Can you talk?
Do that.
Pardon?
Oh, now I can hear you.
We can hear you louder now.
Okay.
But now I've got feedback. Can I just try putting my headphones in?
Honey, you can do anything you want. But thank you for asking.
It's such a juicy subject. I really want to get good sound.
Hello.
Hello.
That's like pussy opening perfection.
I can still hear the little Smurfs rustling around. I wore blue just in case there were Smurfs.
Well, I can't hear anything but your glorious voice and feel your shiny face through here.
Oh, that's beautiful. Can you put your headphones in again and let's just see. One more time and then.
Awesome. I can. Da, 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 da. I just threw them down. Now I have to unwrangle them. You know, I'm feminine
Oh,
in
shit.
motion. I'm absolute feminine chaos in constant motion.
This
I
is
saw
very
another whale
good.
with a baby this morning about 50 meters from me as I'm splashing about.
That is incredible.
I mean, I'm sure it was more than 50 meters. I just like to exaggerate, but she was really fucking close that I'm like, if I swam quick enough, I could touch you, but you'd probably chase me away.
You're like the whale whisperer at the moment.
The whale whisperer, I know. Oh my God. Now I was so set up just to go in and out, and to pull out and come back in. Now I have to. All right. Are we ready?
Oh my God, that's so sexy.
I know. Everything's sexual in my world. Hang on 2 seconds. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Oh my God. Let's just take a moment.
You might just need to.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Is it all gremlin in your side still, love?
No, it's just that you're really quiet now.
Can we get a check? Lovely. Am I quiet for everyone? Am I quiet for
Fiona's
everyone?
saying she loves. Sorry,
That's all right.
I got distracted by the fun.
Oh, honey, that's all. I love a bit of in and out. Yes, constant lot.
Fuck yeah.
A bit more than a bit.
Then I like a nice long pause on the in.
Let's breathe in, hold, 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 hold. All right. Down.
No, honey, I'm talking about in and hard against my cervix. That's what I like. Okay, we can hear. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Awesome. I'll just take a moment to centralize
Now I've
my
fucking
skin.
spilled my coffee on my yoga mat, haven't I? Talking about feminine chaos.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sitting down. Ready. Spaghetti legs. So, Joycey, baby! Hi, honey. Good morning.
Oh, Joyce, darling, hello. Boom, boom,
Let
boom.
us. So, what are we talking about? Sparkly tips?
Sparkly Tip wants to have a chat about having your no on board because there is a whole genre, if I want to call it that, or we do have a lot. A lot is held in our nervous system for women and men. It's not just for women. It is held in the nervous system that our no is something that we can't fully own. And this is what we're talking this in core play, we're talking about this in sexuality, sensuality, even in the throes of making love. That every step of the way, there's a possibility to have a no on board. And yet, what is given to us as the narrative constantly is that if we show up in a certain way, if we've agreed to, this a lot comes down to boundaries, the fries of boundaries. If we agree to something, like we agree to a date, we agree to going home to a person's house, we agree to a kiss. Therefore, the agreement on those steps somehow automatically means that it's a yes for everything else that the other person may want to do after that. That's, So this is our conversation today. Assumptions, yes. And so the reason we're talking about the no today, as in JD and I have heard this being brought up so many times, not just with women, with men as well, in groups and circles that we hold when we were traveling and out and about in the world in Costa Rica and Vancouver, even north of Vancouver, and when we've had online circles, is that by the fear of saying no due to the lashback, being put in danger, hurting someone's feelings, or that our no is going to cause harm to someone else, as in emotional harm, that they feel like they're not good enough, they're not doing something right, or that there's something wrong with them. So we're here to dismember, dismember this icky part. It's like an octopus, isn't it? I feel like I've got lots of octopi in my hands today.
Yeah, this is a really subject that's dear to my heart, because when I lost my virginity, I didn't lose it. I actually have it back. Anyway, I took my virginity back because I didn't actually give it away. However, the day that I had sex for the first time, I said no, but I said no, not so sure kind of way. I said no, no, because part of me wanted it and the other part of me was just shit scared and frozen. So being a carer and a giver and a healer has very much been about learning how to say no. And I'm really passionate about it because I know that for men and women, we often fear maintaining our no because we feel like we're going to miss out on the love that we're looking for. So it's a deep and juicy subject, and it's really dear to my heart. And I can honestly say that now I live by the motto, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. And that comes from Melissa.
Yeah. And there's more. Saying no means no in that moment. The moment shifts and change. And this is what, we really, both Jodie and I speak to so strongly, is when we say no in that moment, that often means that the next moment gets to shift. Because when we say no, our nervous system is in safety, our whole body hears the vocal protection, or the vocal, we have our back, we have our pussies back, we have our hearts back, we are not quite ready yet. What do we need in this moment to get to the next step? This is also when we understand that sex is not just about P and V or P and A, or, it's not, we're not going to that has to be penetration and then that's the only thing sex is about. Absolutely a glorious part.
Can you please elaborate on what P and V and P and A means?
Oh, yes. Penis in vagina, penis in anus. So that sex is this thing where someone's got to
penetration.
Penetration, yes. Yeah, so that's actually a great point, because it's not just penis, it's also fingers. Saying no to fingers or a dildo or a crystal or anything going inside to any orifice. So no is this moment.
Yeah.
No is like, I'm saying no in this moment right now. For me to get to the next moment, I need this. Can we breathe? Look at me. Look at me in the eyes, baby. I need to slow down. This very second, it's a no. These next 5 minutes, the next half hour, it's a no to that. I need this. And even by getting this is also an understanding. Even when we place in a boundary, it's like, before we undress, I need us to connect more. Before this kiss, before all of the tongue kissing and all of this, before you start touching all of the rest of my body, I need us to ground in an eye gaze. By placing in that boundary or asking for that still does not mean, okay, now that you've eyes gazed, that person can just start again. It's like, this is a no to what's happening. It's my nervous system shutting down. I need to do this. Because boundaries, as we learned from Megan, our dearest friend Megan in Canada, and those of you who've been in workshops with her when we've had them online, and also in Vancouver, and all of those that were able to experience her in Costa Rica, when her and I presented together, and she's done work with Jodie and I. We love her. So as we learned from Megan,
we do.
Boundaries is freely given, reversible, informed, explicit, and specific. So they're reversible. It's like, I'm saying no, and it's like, you know what? By you just touching me in that way so softly for the last half hour, guess what? Oh, I'm so much more open to this idea of taking my clothes off. Can we give that a try? Like, everything's reversible. You need lots of information. A lot of times when we're saying no, you see, we don't have all of the information. If I take all of my clothes off now, does that mean you expect that you can just grab a condom and try to enter me? Is that what, for a lot of us, it's like if I take my clothes off, the next things are just apparently given. That is not fully informed to taking clothes off. That is not fully informed to kissing. That is not fully informed. And what both Jade and I always hear is, but that's going to kill the moment. The moment's already, can I just get really real to that response? When someone says, I'm afraid it's going to kill the moment, well, guess what? The moment's already fucking dead because you have shut down, because you need a no and you're not listening to it. The moment's dead, it's killed.
Can you say that again? The internet cut out.
That the moment is already killed. It's dead in that moment. If we're concerned that it's going to ruin the moment if I say no, if that's in your brain, that you're going to ruin the moment by placing in a boundary, then that moment is already on its way out because you're not fully present. You're not a full yes to it. So it's not an alive moment. So if that thought is there, then the moment is already dying. You can salvage it and bring life back to it by bringing in your no and offering the next step. A no doesn't mean, oh no, shit, now we've got to go home. It's also another perception, It's like if I say no, then it's over. It's like, no, it's like, not yet. No, let's try this instead. All of it.
So you're talking specifically about penetration and saying, no, I'm not ready.
Not just, penetration comes into it, but it's even like undressing, anything that's involved in sensuality, sexuality. You may be heavy testing with someone, enjoying the kiss so much, and you're so happy, then all of a sudden your breasts are grabbed, and you're like, whoa, I was just really into the kissing right now. I was so comfortable with just kissing. It wasn't an invitation to touch the rest of my body. And now there's pulling away.
Yeah, totally. But so many people would feel uncomfortable about saying that to someone.
Yeah.
That wasn't an invitation to touch my breasts. So can we be practical right now about how, if you're feeling uncomfortable about anything to do with intimacy, I feel like it's really cool to kind of play with this. So I would love to hear from anyone listening. How do you slow things down? How do you maintain your no? How do you bring that pace in where you're equally in the driver's seat? I mean, some people love to be dominated, but even inside of that, there's still consent. Like Taz was saying, consent is everything, and it's so true. Fiona was saying that for her, it's just become that her nervous system is telling her. And so I feel like this is the most important piece. It's like the first step in this conversation is knowing what you want and how your body feels. Having the ability to listen to self first. Because when there's an interaction with someone else, the purpose of lovemaking is to move energy between two people. And I'm an energetic blueprint. So the languaging that you'll hear from me is very much through the sensual and the energetic blueprint. So, and Melissa's all about the blueprints, the sexual blueprints. It's incredible. Definitely tune in with her about that if you're interested in finding out what your unique sexual blueprint is. It's been a game changer for me and a game changer in helping me understand my partner as well, because he's a different blueprint. So anyway, essentially the act of intimacy is connection. And connection is union. Connection is the coming together of two people. So we've got two sovereign beings, two autonomous, self-agent humans. But what we humans do by default is we become so focused on the other person, so focused on what they want, what they need, how horny they are, the fact that they are ravenous for us. You can feel their sexual desire, and often it feels like it's our responsibility. But what your responsibility actually is to tune into your body, to know what's happening inside you, to be inside of yourself, inside of your pleasure. Because the minute that you're over there worrying about whether they're having fun or whether they are too turned on or any of that stuff, you're completely out of your sovereignty. You're not inside of your body, and you can't listen to your cock's yes or your pussy's no. Because the truth is that just because you're wet doesn't mean you're ready, and just because you're hard doesn't mean you're ready either. Because our body, and this is, I really wanted to bring up this thing about chemistry, self-care, and readiness. But I'll come back to that later. Because the thing is that our bodies are primal. Sometimes we will have fucking crazy chemistry. But if you really listen, you will always hear a no, a yes, or an I don't know. But you have to be listening. And this is all areas of intimacy. This isn't just P and B, as Melissa says, or P and A. It's all aspects. Do you want to come for a walk on the beach? For that person, it might be foreplay. But if you're not available, you're not available. If you're not ready, you're not ready. It's not your responsibility to be worried about their response.
I love you.
I love you too.
Oh my God, this is so juicy. I have 4 things crossed.
Take it away, baby.
So, first of all, too, like I know that I mentioned a lot about, the woman saying no. It's also like, kissing and grabbing her breast. I hear over and over again about men being in situations where they didn't have a fuck yet, where they felt overwhelmed. I'm talking in food containers that weren't set up, but because it was a feminine dominating the masculine, there's an assumption that, he's going to be up for it. Men that also receive touch on their cocks. Oh my God, all of a sudden she just grabbed my cock. Nervous system shut down. So this is not just, just also want to apologize that a lot of my, conversation at the beginning was more about the feminine. It's for both. Yeah, for both. The, yes, about when you are placing in your boundaries, placing in your no, you're allowing the other person to win, because if you don't maintain your no and you continue forth on doing something that you're not quite sure about, now you're a problem. Not that the person's thinking this in their head, this is all energetic. Now you're a problem for the other person to fix. They've now got to problem solve the fact that your nervous system is shutting down and they are still going forth with what they thought was okay, and you're retreating. Like, this is all energetic. This is like what I deeply go in with my clients about. We go moment by moment by moment, unraveling what happens when you don't have that no, and then what comes after that. So you may be feeling like, oh, well, look, she's really turned on. They're really enjoying themselves. I was here and I kissed them passionately, so I guess I should. But, half an hour down the track, when you've been in this sort of caretaking mode of yourself, trying to energetic place in a boundary, the other person doesn't know what to do, and they can go forth just trying to fix it, like going for penetration, going for orgasm, faking an orgasm so that it can just be finished, so that, just so I can get out of this. You are not empowering the other person either. You're actually really emasculating the other person as well.
Oh my God, can we just pause and take that in for a minute? Because that point is so important. Mm-hmm. If we're truly taking care of another person, we're being honest.
Yeah.
We're not bringing a fake orgasm just to get to the end. Because that person can feel it, regardless of their gender.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They can feel it.
And what happens is the nervous system starts to shut down to even trusting that they can feel it. So if someone continuously receives the act that the other person just does it just to get it over and done with, then also you're causing separation more and more. Even when you're with someone, it's also too thinking about, wow, if you're with someone just for one night and you do that, then that person's going to go forth to the next person, believing what they did was really great, and you could also be partaking in the fact that then they just keep pushing through boundaries because you.
Oh my God, that's an epic point.
Enabling.
That is such an epic point, and that's. I have had so many experiences with people where they've gone, well, no one else has ever complained. I'm like, yeah. Did they know how to say no? This is not a complaint, mate. I'm telling you what I need. There is a huge difference between me saying, hey, that pressure is feeling a little bit irritating. That I need it a bit slower. Can we slow down? Because the other thing is, if that person is reactive, they don't fucking deserve to be inside you or for you to be inside of them.
Yes. JD, thank you. Yes, because that was one of my other points, is exactly that. It's also, not that you're testing, I'm going to bring in a boundary to test, but it's in that moment, is this person going to be able to meet you? If you say no, and you express, like as JD was just, JD's just talking so beautifully in this example of this pressure, this is how this pressure shows up in my body, this is what's happening right now, this is what I need. If you have someone reacting to that, oh my God, honey, boom, they're going to react further down. How are they going to react further down the track? When you really, when things are getting sorer or harder or difficult, or as a masculine being person, your cock gets soft and you need to be received in a moment, because cocks get soft for many, many reasons. Soft cock is so glorious and beautiful. It's not something wrong. It's like, okay, what do you need? Do you need water? That's my favorite thing to do. It's like the amount of times it's like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm really, really thirsty. It's like, awesome, drink some water and let's start again, and move on. So it's like, what do you need? It's a barometer. Your cock is a barometer. Your pussy is the barometer. So when we're overriding those messages.
Absolutely. We've got some awesome comments.
Mm-hmm.
So Taz has been saying that for them, when they're making love to someone and they can see that person shutting down or in a maybe, they just stop. And then there's the word frozen, but I can't see all the comments because on Instagram it's literally like this tiny little thing at the bottom of my square. So if we miss comments, please, it's not personal. But so I love this thing, because if you can recognize when the person you're making love to is freezing up, then that's your opportunity to deepen into trust. And this goes into this other piece that Nancy is saying, that they, I'm languaging. it feels like I'm saying I'm not doing it right. They're not doing it right if I say something.
That if I say that.
Oh, the video was frozen. Yeah, so I love this point. Thank you for bringing it up, Nancy, because I understand this. It took me a really long time to come to terms with the fact that if someone isn't doing it right for me, it doesn't mean that them as a person is wrong. It's just actually finding a way to language it so that you're letting them know what you need. Right? And it's okay to say, if I say more pressure or less pressure, that essentially what you're expressing here is taking responsibility for their feelings. Because if you say more pressure and they get reactive, honey, they need to sort their shit out.
This is your body, honey. You know, just what JD said. You're not responsible for their feelings. You're responsible on how you express. You're responsible for taking responsibility for your own pressure. And I really want to speak really clearly to those two comments that you've made, Nancy. Thank you so much. Where you're saying, if you need more pressure or less pressure, but you're afraid that you're letting them know that they're not doing it right, if the touch they're giving you doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. You're not there to receive touch that doesn't work just because they're with you. Like this is what many of us are taught, but in sex and sexuality, unless it's a kink container and it's all been set up before and all of the boundaries of consent have been placed and everything has been discussed to the freaking nth degree, then you are not there to receive touch and ways of being maneuvered and touched and entered whatever that don't work for you. It's not, sorry, I'm doing all these things. It's not a requirement just to do that. We are taught that it is. So I'm coming in like in a bit of a bullet a gate into that point because we are taught that it is. Just like men are taught that they need to penetrate. It's fucking bullshit. I'm just going to call it.
Totally.
What is absolutely right. If their pressure's not working, it's not working, honey. So it's not that they're doing it wrong. They haven't been shown yet. This is also shifting that language. Yeah, it's not working for you. They're not doing it wrong. They don't know yet. They haven't been shown yet. You haven't shown them yet. You haven't invited them to the next moment yet to move to where it does work.
And also, there's a difference between saying you're doing the technique wrong, I need it this way, and you're wrong. Just because you're saying no to an action, just because you're saying, hey, this certain thing doesn't work for me, doesn't mean that you're saying you don't work for me. You're bringing your unique set of needs into the center. And at the end of the day, walking in true embodied value is knowing that any person who has the privilege of sharing intimate space with you, that person is really blessed. And that person, if they also can see your value, they're going to be willing and open to learning what floats your boat. But also, people can value us and not be willing. It's just that they value us to the level that they know how to show up. So this is about you having your own back and recognizing this isn't really what I want. My fuck yes has just turned into a no. It's turned into a not right now. It's turned into a maybe. Can we explore this further?
Mm. I was going to get you to repeat something, but it's so far back. I just loved what you said around. I was like, can you say that again? All of these like aha moments.
Was it that truly having value for yourself? Was it about the value for self?
It was that how it is a gift for someone who's received the gift of spending time with you. They get to receive you, but you also get to receive them.
That's it. And we all have different things we need inside of that. Like, even Melissa and I have a non-sexual relationship, and we value each other. I value Melissa, and because I value Melissa, I want to learn her love language. I want to learn what her no is. I'm looking for the boundaries so that I can love her more the way she wants to be loved. That's my responsibility, being in divine partnership with any person, whether it's sexual or not sexual. Where are your boundaries? What are your no's? What are your yeses? How do we make this juicier? And when we when we stop making everything an attack on the person, because it's not an attack on the person, it's just, I'm not saying no to you. I'm saying no to a set of circumstances. I'm saying no to the thing that you can't give me. It doesn't make me feel good in my body. And this is the thing, like, it is so fucking simple. If you don't feel good, if you don't feel juicy, if you're not fucking turned on, it's not your jam. And you've got to have your own back, man. You've got to have that sense of self-value where you're like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. I need to say no because I've got my own back. I'm saying no to you because I'm saying yes to myself. I am saying no to this moment because I'm saying yes to having more value, to being more turned on, to fucking calling in what I really want for my life. I'm not taking crumbs anymore. And I'm not being a demanding bitch about it either. I'm just loving the shit out of myself and redirecting my energy. Can you tell I'm premenstrual? I'm like, boom.
This is like, darling, you need like a little riding crop.
Where is my riding crop?
I don't know.
My man's been making these amazing BDSM toys because he does beautiful woodwork, and I do have a special whipping tool.
Feathers are flying off my feather stick right now because I'm hitting it really hard because yes, Katie, you are on it. Yes. There is wood coming out the other end of this. It's really great. Boom, 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 boom. It's a double dipper.
So you would like feathers and leather for your special whipping tool, Melissa?
Oh my God. Yes, I would actually.
Okay, done.
Of course, where does my mind go? Jada's going to go and she's going to find like wallaby roadkill and drag it home, and her man's going to skin it and going to dry it, and she's going to sit under a fire and sing medicine songs while the skin dries over 3 months, 3 moon cycles. And
oh my God, I totally would do that.
I know.
But you'll have to wait for a fucking while, mate.
Oh, honey, I don't care if I'm getting you to spend 3 moon cycles coming and the fire to the roadkill. That's going to be the piece of leather. Yes. You can just deliver it yourself by then. Anyway.
Yes.
I do.
Melissa and I are actually cooking up a retreat so that we can hold you for days and days and have loads of fun in Mexico while exploring all of these beautiful subjects. So who's got questions? I've got so much to say on this subject, but it would be great to hear from you guys. Yes. What's going on here in the chat? I've missed out on so much.
Have you? So can I jump in because it was, who was this glorious person? All of you are glorious. Nancy, thank you so much for being here. Fiona McLean Coach. Oh, Coach, because I'm like, what a great last name, hyphen name, but you are a fabulous coach. Fiona, darling. So what I love about is what
Fiona is amazing.
And what, of course. Fiona and Nancy, they talked about the same thing in the opposite way. So Fiona was talking about how her man holds her in the bedroom, but out in life, she doesn't feel the same confidence. Whereas Nancy's talking about out in life, yes, having the boundaries, but in bed, not the same confidence. This all comes down to being loved, belonging, safety. This is another thing that we are doing when it's like, if I say no, I'm not going to belong, so therefore I'm not safe. If I say no right now, they're going to think like that's an act of non-love. We're not talking about being in love. We're talking about the words, the actions, the things that we do say and not say. If I keep silent right now, that means she is still going to love me. That means I belong in a situation, which means I'm safe. If I say something that I feel is going to make them feel unloved, so I'm going to unlove myself, but make sure, that I'm going to love myself, but make sure they, think that they're going to be unloved. That could shake the foundation of belonging. Then I'm not going to be safe. All of this is primal brain work. So feeling safe and everything on board out in life, but coming to the bedroom, this is where we get to work on all of that deep childhood stuff around sexuality, sensuality, where we made wrong. We're not safe if we're sensual. We're not safe if we're too loud. We're not safe if we say no to have autonomy of our bodies. And it's the other way around of like, when I'm in the bedroom and I'm being seen and heard and, I'm really vivacious, it's because this is where I'm autonomous and I'm a siren and I have everything on board. This is where I can shine. But out in life is a different story. So we cross these bridges, and all of the work that Daly and I do with our private clients and our group is crossing these bridges. It's all around primal brain stuff, and this is exactly what this topic is about. Your no is a primal brain action-reaction, assumption from the primal brain. All of that stuff.
I really love what you share about belonging. The need to belong, the need to connect, and the need to know that we are loved. The piece that is super important to understand is that if we're in denial of anything that we truly want and need, we're not actually willing to face the things inside of us that are unseen, hidden. But the moment that you sit with that shadow and you have your gutsy as fuck to face that thing that you actually really want, that's when it starts cracking open. Because when we're in denial of our wants and needs, we are always focused on the other person. We become people-pleasing rather than self-anchored, self-valued. I don't like saying self-love because there's so many triggers around that in the primal brain. But essentially, what does it really mean to belong? What does it really mean to be connected? And what does it really mean to be love itself? And if we're turning away from ourselves because there's something that we don't want to admit that we want or need because it's uncomfortable. That's the moment of self-abandonment. And it's actually about recognizing that moment that you disconnect from yourself, because when you're disconnected from yourself in that moment, that's when your yoni is not going to be open. It's when that ability to go deep in intimacy and to fuck each other wide open, if you're not tapped into your shadows and willing to face everything that you are that is uncomfortable, there's going to be a cap on the level of intimacy that you can actually receive. This week, one of my clients had an amazing breakthrough in her premenstrual phase. She was like, her womb was showing her everything she doesn't want inside of her relationship, right? And it was intense. She was screaming loud, and she did so well. She leant in, we unpacked it, we went really deep. And what was at the center for her was some daddy stuff, where she was like, yep, I wasn't allowed to take up space. It was unsafe for me to ask for what I wanted, because I was always met with this, I'm too busy, I've got other priorities. And this is super common because we are raised inside of a society that lauds success over intimacy, connection, and belonging. It's like, I have to provide first, and it's bullshit. What is actual provision? Provision is belonging. Provision is knowing that you are love itself. Provision is connection with your unique set of needs, and knowing that if you have a need, it's for a reason, and it's for your freedom. Because they're the doorway. Our needs, wants, and desires are the doorway to our freedom. And what if our sole purpose in life is to be here, have fun, connect, and play? What if it's not about success and all that shit? I mean, success is a byproduct of all of that anyway. It's a totally different conversation. Rant over, darling. I have a quote that I brought into this.
Oh, did you? Please do.
Yeah. If your compassion does not include yourself, it's incomplete.
Oh, thank you. That just brought the word martyr just came in just then. It's like, and yes. I mean, both Sadie and I.
Talk to us about the martyr. It's full moon in Cancer today, and Cancer is a sign of the mother. And on that, the shadow aspect of the mother is a martyr. I'm smiling, but it's because revealing the shadows is so fucking important for our freedom.
I have a story I'd love to share too, darling, on that, and mine's from a male client, which is really beautiful to be reminded.
Yeah, I want to hear all the stories.
All the stories, because we missed a call, so it was actually 2 weeks ago. But the same thing of actually providing. I mean, he's an incredible provider, but they've recently moved internationally and all brand new business, all of this stuff, and so he was going down the stress cycle. So then once the stress cycle starts, making less money, but he kept putting the fact that he needed to provide, he didn't have his boundary on board of his self-care, so let self-care go. And so, but then it's like the panic cycle, making less money, things not working, things falling apart, and then of course the relationships, like, the nagging, the non-connection. And we lovingly hold our clients accountable, but this has been going for a couple of weeks, came in really fierce accountable, non-negotiable. Self-care, silence, cold water, masturbation. And out of that, he experienced his first energetic orgasm. And he's just like writing, So it's just, yes, I am a witch. But
yes, you are.
Yeah. The fact
Sexy
of,
witch.
yeah. The fact of self-care, of having a no on board. Getting his no on board of like, no, I'm not going to work 70 hours a week. No, and he was working 7 days a week. I mean, he was just like, I gathered that's not really good. I couldn't talk for a while. I'm like, and you've been doing this for 3 weeks in a row, and you're related. I wanted me to chase you. It's like, it's just a wake-up call too. It's like beautiful accountability. It's a wake-up call of, you've got to have your no on board. You've got to, write to your business partner, call them, text them, say you're not doing this, you're taking this day off. And even to his partner, like, yes, there will be a date with her, but you've got to self-care first. You haven't had any days off in 15 days. No, 3, 7, 14, 21 days. So the first day you spend is on your own, not with her, It's like you need to look after yourself first before going to the relationship, and that's what happens. So, beauty all round.
Oh my God, I love that you said all of that, and I just don't even know what part of that to start on because it's so dear to my heart. I know that Anthony wouldn't mind me sharing. It's something that him and I have been walking through because when we look at when we're looking at specific gender, people who really are gender identified, right? The male, a lot of men take pride in providing.
Mm.
And women take pride in nurturing and connection. So I know there are a lot of women in the world who are really happy with lots of money and a home and freedom and all the things on the outside. This is where I love David Dieter's work, where he talks about first stage, second stage, and third stage relating. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's really important to be honest about what you want. Because if you're in relationship for the point of partnership and it's all about, I want to be with a human who can provide for me and that's your want, and you actually don't really give a shit about the intimacy side of it and you're happy to do the thing, then that's what you want. And that floats a lot of people's boats. For me personally, I would rather live in a teepee and be creative with my person, to have a simple life. And this is not saying that I believe that it's one or the other. I believe that I can have abundance and connection with my person, but I'm just breaking it down right to the basics so that we can build upon it. So for me, I believe that abundance is connection. I believe if I wanted to be in a relationship like that, I would have found a rich dude, had babies, done the thing. But that didn't my soul was calling me in yearning for this third stage relating. That's beyond the point of sovereignty of two individual autonomous beings and into this place where you realize that you're in a sacred container with another human, and pouring into that container means that you actually are coming together and creating an us thing. Mm-hmm. So my thing is I don't give a fuck how much money you're earning if I don't get to see you. I need connection. And it's great to say, yes, I'm providing, but provision has so many different aspects. So this is a great thing you can bring to the dating process and even bring it into your date night. What is provision for you? Because it's provision of heart, it's provision of body. Like, what makes you juicy? What's the thing that makes life feel abundant to you? Because it might not be a massive bank account. It might be an abundance of time. It might be abundance of freedom. It might be an abundance of these things. And this is why listening to our no and having those self-care boundaries is such a turn on. When my man walks in the door and he's exhausted from doing 70 hours a week, is so different in my body to when he walks in the door and he's juiced up and he's been for a swim and he's been in the workshop and he's hydrated, and it's like, ooh la la, come here. My body is straight away, she's open. And that's what we women can feel. We can feel that because it's our thing to nurture. So if your man comes in the door and he's tired, even though you've been thinking about sitting on his face all day long, it's going to be a turn. Like, it's actually a bodily response to go, oh my God, honey, you're so tired. What do you need? And all of a sudden we're in that default nurture archetype, and the sexiness and the juiciness has moved out. And you're in that place of like, oh, you're tired, honey. What can I do for you? And that's when the martyr.
To my sexual. Sorry, darling, I thought you'd finished. I was going to say, you've been so synced, right? Speaking to my sexual. Provision of
well,
body.
I've been practicing.
Sitting on your face. Just like, whew, I've got my sexual going on. The sexual's come in. I'm energetically connected to you. We've been talking about leather. You have so taken care of my shapeshifter today. I fucking well bow down to you. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Yes.
I've been practicing my sexual archetype blueprint chatting.
Oh.
Because my man is a sexual and I'm an energetic. Like, I would be super happy to just like play in without words. But, you know, I have to remind myself to say dirty shit to turn him on. And it's great because I get to like explore parts of myself that feel a little bit edgy.
The oral game, darling. That's what I call it. AURAL. Oral. Speaking. Oral game. Another one of my little sexy tools I take my clients through.
Yum. Can we just quickly touch in on this quote that I found? I jumped online because I was like, well, we're doing a series. This Fat Chat series is about playing with quotes and expanding on them. And I think it's amazing because, you know, there's quotes for everything. And it's really great to
jump into it.
Oh my God! Communication always has a purpose. Before speaking, the first law is you must know why you are talking. You must know what you are communicating for. What do you want? So before you say no, there's a purpose. What do you want? Why are you communicating what you're communicating? Because you both get to be free, juicy as fuck, fucked wide open, having a lovely time. And like Melissa said in the beginning, your no is to create more space for more intimacy so you can go deeper.
The end. That is awesome. I love that quote. Would you be able to put that in the when the studio goes up?
I would love to.
Why are
Thank
you
you
thinking?
so much.
I love that.
Why are you communicating?
That is the question.
Let's talk about that next week.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Mercury's retrograde. It makes sense to talk about communication.
Oh yes, let's do that. Yes, please. So tell me again, why are you talking? I missed it.
Is there a purpose to this?
I need an inform. My boundary needs to be informed.
Oh yeah, fully, man. But that's it.
Honey.
If you just say, I need it deeper because it makes me so turned on. Follow your no with something positive. Start with something positive, wrap it up in something positive, state what you need, make it sexy. You fucking deserve it.
Bookend between the fluffy things. You know I've always got a backup, honey. You know I've always got a backup. You're really great. Please don't do that. You're fucking awesome. It's a winner.
I love you. I love you so much. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. So much love. See you next week.
Say no to that. Love you. Thank you so much for your comments this week and your questions. Please keep them coming in, JD, and I love and adore all of you. We appreciate all of you for being here. It really means the world to us.
It really does.
Happy place. Mwah. Bye, honey bun. I'll speak to you soon. You know it.
Probably in the next hour.
Yeah. Ciao, babe.
Bye, darling.